Guys, we are live now.
Hi, so good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all the aspirants joining us live today. We are thrilled to have you here for this special YouTube session hosted in collaboration with Inside IM and SIBM Pune. With Snap just around the corner, we know many of you are in that crucial phase where every strategy, every mock, and every decision matters. And that's exactly why we are here today, to help you streamline your preparation and maximize your performance in the most practical and actionable way. We are here today to share our experiences, our strategies, and which helped us manage preparation alongside demanding work schedules, academics, and personal commitments. We have been exactly where you are now. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. Before we dive in, let us quickly introduce ourselves. I am Bhargavi, someone shaped by a blend of cultures, having lived in 10 different cities across India, and thanks to my defense background for that. Originally from Andhra Pradesh and currently based in Kolkata, I hold a degree in BBA in Transportation Management and have 24 months of work experience. Beyond academics and work, I am a professionally trained Bharatanatyam dancer and I love expressing myself through music and singing. Now, let me invite Rishabh to introduce himself.
Hello, aspirants. My name is Rishabh Kukreti, and I am an ex-developer and producer from Dehradun. I've worked in the industry for about 3 years across some award-winning games and even some AR projects. Currently, I'm pursuing MBA in marketing specialization here at SIBM Pune. And during my undergraduate in computer science engineering, I participated in several national hackathons and organized tech fests as well. It was here that my interest in theater evolved into a practical skill of theater direction and production. For my hobbies as a cinephile, I enjoy delving into film analysis and literature to deepen my understanding of narrative techniques. And whenever I can use inspiration, I also bring it to poetry.
Hello, aspirants. I'm Devika Nair, and I'm originally from Kerala, but currently I'm living in Karnataka. Excuse me, Ishita, can I just change the slide? Just give me a second. Yeah, so just let me begin just introducing myself. Hello, everyone. My name is Devika Nair, and I'm originally from Kerala, but I'm currently living in Karnataka. I'm pursuing my MBA in marketing at SIBM Pune. My academic journey began with a BBA in marketing from Christ Deemed to be University, Bangalore. Post graduation, I worked as an executive in sales and marketing in a leading real estate firm in Bombay for 2 years. Beyond academics and work, dance has been always a constant in my life. I'm a trained Bharatanatyam dancer with over 15 years of learning. Music, cooking, and movies are my hobbies, and I enjoy engaging in discussions about movies.
Can we change the slide, please? Yeah, so now talking about SIBM Pune, what makes SIBM Pune truly unique is its student-driven culture. Every initiative from this very session is session to from every session to management fest and corporate engagements is powered by students, and we have 8 councils and 7 special interest groups covering everything from preparing students with consulting, marketing, or product management concepts to organizing competitions, cultural events, and even social impact and community outreach. This gives us the real experience of leadership, coordination, and execution, even before you enter the corporate world.
So, firstly, thank you everyone for taking out your time for this session, and we hope that we can really help you give our insights that can help in your preparation journey. Last year, as Bhargavi mentioned, we were also in the same space, preparing for the management examinations, juggling work and studies, etc. So we know how the things go. But this time, as we have less than a week for SNAP, it's better you start your preparation for the exam slowly, covering syllabus that are exclusive for SNAP, so that you can dedicate the last few days for your mocks.
Next slide, please. Yeah. So coming to Coffee with SIBM, that is Aspirant Relations team's flagship event. This year, we're bringing the spirit of SIBM Pune directly to your cities. These are Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Kolkata, Lucknow, Mumbai, Pune, and Nagpur. So if you're starting your MBA journey or you are just, exploring the right B school, the right kind of exams that there are, Coffee with SIBM is your chance to experience what makes SIBM Pune truly one of the country's most respected management institutes. Now, here you'll get to interact with current students such as us. You can ask your questions openly, understand the academic culture, placement opportunities. You can also ask about the campus life and, not just through brochures, but actual real experiences. Of course, humanity is driven by stories, and that's what we'll provide you there. This event is specifically designed to give you clarity, confidence, and a genuine understanding of the community and environment that you may soon be a part of. Now, Coffee with SIBM is more than just an interaction. It's a candid conversation. It's not going to be a one-way dialogue. It's going to be a discussion. And this is a space where you bring your doubts, explore your aspirations, and hear unfiltered stories from people who were once directly in your shoes. And this is less than a year ago as well. It's an opportunity to understand what truly sets the Red Brick Hill campus apart. Its culture, energy, and the growth it inspires. So if you've ever wondered what makes SIBM Pune special, there's absolutely no better way to find out. Join us and experience this for yourself.
So, I want to start with talking about my experience when I was preparing for a competitive exam for MBA. So, when I started taking mocks, I made the classic mistake most SNAP aspirants make. I tried to solve every question. I went in with the mindset that higher attempts mean a higher score. But very quickly, I realized that SNAP doesn't reward speed alone, it rewards smart speed. So, what actually changed my game was shifting my focus from attempting everything to attempting the right question first. The real catch in Snap is accuracy, not blind attempts. Once I started prioritizing the easiest and most straightforward question at the beginning of the test, my score immediately became more stable. Instead of wasting time on tricky and time consuming questions early on, I built my score through high accuracy attempts. And this gave me a huge confidence boost during the mock itself. So, my biggest learning on mock strategy is this: don't go into mocks with the goal of finishing the paper, go in with the goal of maximizing your correct answers. Sort your paper mentally into easy, moderate, and tough as you scan it. Pick the low hanging fruits first and then come back to the rest of the questions if time allows. So this one shift from solving everything to solving the right questions first made the biggest difference in my snap preparation.
Adding
Adding
on to
on to
Bhargavi's
Bhargavi's
point,
point,
so
so
for
for me,
me, every
every
mock gave me an opportunity to refine my strategy. Like each mocks give you each and every different strategy. So mocks are not just for practice. Of course, it tests your time management skills, pressure test, and consistency. But at the same time, it gives you an opportunity to correct your mistakes and also understand. Also, it helps in understanding how can you do a particular question in a lesser time frame. Of course, you will understand your mistakes, how to improve on the same. But more importantly, there will be some questions where you can solve it within 45 seconds. Probably you might have done within a minute or so. You need to refine your strategy to understand how can I do it even in a lesser time frame. So do as many mocks as you can. Like you can take 2 to 3 mocks a day as it's just an hour exam, but make sure that you invest a huge amount of time in analyzing the mock. This is one thing that I would urge everyone to do so, because mock will just take an hour, but analyzing might take 2 to 3 hours. But I can assure you that these 2 to 3 hours will ensure that you are prepared for the D-Day.
Now, I also have a couple of thoughts to add on to mock strategy and analysis. But before just going ahead, I see a lot of people in the chat. I see Alicia, Aditya, Ariel. Please hold on to your questions. We're just going through our journey and how we converted our mock strategies into our D-Day strategies and how we juggled our preparation with work and college. So if you could just give us 5 to 10 more minutes, we will quickly get to your questions towards the later section. Continuing off of mocks analysis. I hit a pretty even number with 25, 26 mocks. And with each mock, I was trying out a new strategy. Now, it was very different in our case as well, because we had 2 weeks of time between CAT and SNAP. And this time it is less than a week. It is roughly around 6.5 days. So that makes for a much shorter turnaround time that you have to tackle. But what I went with was attempting a new mock strategy every time I went into a mock. So I wasn't very concerned with the syllabus I had covered or the syllabus I had left with. I was completely focusing on what kind of strategy would be best for SNAP, because CAT, SNAP, NMAT, ZAT, all of these management entrance exams are very different from each other. They have very different parameters, very different timings, and require a very different type of candidate. So what my strategy was figuring out again the best one, which was I went ahead with trying out weaker sections first, maybe stronger sections one time. Then in another mock, I was going to save both the sections for later, and tackling directly my weakest section first, doing the paper in certain rounds, tackling the hardest questions first. So there's loads of different ways to go about it. Now, for analysis, now I had a very different approach. I did not really look at the questions I got right. I was happy with them. I just hit a tick in my notebook and I went to the ones I got wrong. And this is one thing that people are usually, afraid of, to, face the questions that they had gotten wrong. But that is the only way I think, growth can actually take place with the, mock analysis. A lot of people do say that, analysis is very important, but I believe this is the aspect that is very, very crucial in order to, better your mock scores. So I only focused on those answers that I didn't, get correct, and made a, book, which was, I called it, my book of mess ups. And in this book of mess ups, I had only the questions which I could not solve. And this helped me better my weaker sections. And, of course, the D-Day strategy was affected this way too.
So, coming to the D-Day strategy, the most important thing is to walk in with the clear mindset and a simple plan. So, Snap is too fast-paced for improvisation. So, your goal is to maximize the correct answers, not to hit some attempt number you saw online. So, start with your strongest section to build confidence early and follow the 30-second rule. If a question doesn't click quickly, skip it without hesitation, because time traps can ruin your momentum. So exam day is not the time to experiment, it's the time to execute. So before that, it's important that you give as many mocks as possible. And SNAP being a 1 hour exam, it's possible that you give 2-3 mocks a day. Especially in my case, when just before the SNAP, I used to give 3 to 5 mocks a day. But it's very important that along with giving mocks, you take your time to analyze them properly and make sure that the mistakes that you have done in your previous mock doesn't get repeated.
Yeah, so adding on to what Bhargavi said, my strategy was also in a similar lines because at the back of my mind, I had two things. One, it's a 60 minutes examination. Secondly, I need to maximize the number of questions that I'm attending to maximize my score eventually that everyone want to do. But one thing you should be very much careful while attempting the question is like skip those which take more than a minute to solve. Like as I mentioned before, because once you're practicing mocks, you'll be able to find a similar pattern or you will be able to solve the questions in a lesser time frame. So solve those questions which you are able to do within a minute and then skip it, but allocate some amount of buffer time so that you can revisit these questions while you're skipping the same.
Now, I did mention, D-Day strategy being a bit of a, tricky situation. This is where I think, it was easier for me in Snap, because my strategy was also to take Snap exams as a mock. And I took the first one as a trial run, just to see how I would feel under the pressure, because a mock is not the same as, the D-Day exam. And in the first one, I did not do very well. I sort of buckled under the pressure. Day two was much, much better. And day three was finally when I hit my, highest score. Now, with the strategy that I was following, you remember I was, trying out a new strategy every day. And what this resulted in was an amalgamation of a very, very focused, very personalized and suited to me strategy. Now, what I did was I went section wise as well, but I also tackled easier questions first. So specifically to my strength, general English is something that I'm very, very good at. And that is what I went in to tackle first. I completed this in around, I think, 7 or 8 minutes. Again, this is a place where I was able to save time. Then I moved on to my secondary strength, so to speak, which again got better through my book of mess ups. It was quantitative DI and data sufficiency. This is wherein I went to tackle easier questions only first, and then I moved to analytical and logical reasoning. So I did not complete all the questions within the quantitative DI and data sufficiency section, only the ones that I was able to finish within 30 to 40 seconds. Now, when I came to analytical and logical reasoning, this wasn't an area where I was, very comfortable with, but I had gotten the hang of, solving the questions quickly. I made it a point to maximize my attempts of questions, and I only left, I think, one or two questions by the end. Now, this invested time that I had, that is, majorly where that chunk of time went. But also, I had also left around, quantitative DI and data sufficiency questions. Now, after I was done with the LR section as well, this is the time when I came back to quantitative DI and DS. Now, I was able to tackle some of the more harder questions, which I wouldn't have under pressure. So, that's also an important aspect of the D-Day. Don't put yourself under pressure. Make a strategy which puts you in the most comfortable, position that you can be during the maximum amount of time. And yeah, that is all. Next up would, I think we want to cover, juggling, of course, prep with other commitments. It can be college or it can be work. Devika, I invite you to, express your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so basically, I used to take out, so even I was a working professional while I was trying out for the management examination. So I can better answer those, that I can actually see a question in the chat also, that how do I balance nap and work. So I used to take out 3 hours daily from my schedule for the preparation. I had a very tight schedule, as I already mentioned in my introduction. I was working for a real estate firm, so wherein in a real estate firm we don't have a weekends, because weekends are the time where most of the aspirants invest themselves for the preparation. They take out 7 to 8 hours daily, but I didn't get a luxury to do that. So I had a very tight schedule. So I used to take out 3 hours daily, either before going to work or after coming after work, wherein I used to cover the syllabus within an hour or so, and then I used to entirely dedicate for the mocks. This is one tip that I want to urge everyone to do so. Even if you're not able to complete the syllabus, try solving as many mocks as you can. Or it is basically a diagnostic test, because it will help you understand which section are you naturally good at, which topics need attention, and how fast you can think under pressure. So even if the syllabus is not complete, don't worry for that. You will eventually understand the question pattern that is coming repetitively in the mock, so that you will be able to gear up for this examination. Bhargavi, you can add on to the same.
Yeah, sure. So in my case, I have a different story. I took a drop year to prepare for the MBA exams. I am sure that there will be many of you who are preparing full time for MBA and are worried about a few of the things. But I think what keeping myself motivated during my drop year was honestly one of the toughest parts of the journey. And it wasn't the syllabus or the mocks that challenged me the most. It was dealing with the uncertainty, the comparisons, and the self doubt that quietly creeps in when you are studying alone for months. So, what helped me stay grounded was reminding myself whether I choose this, that why I chose this path in the first place. I started breaking down my goals into small daily targets so that every day felt like forward movement instead of a long, endless wait for results. I made sure to track my progress, celebrate the improvements in my mock percentiles, and treat every setback as feedback rather than a failure. Some days were hard, but I kept telling myself that a drop year isn't a pause in life, it's an investment in a better one. So I focused on consistently over perfection and build a routine that kept me anchored and surrounded myself with people who believed in my potential even on days I didn't. So eventually that consistency and quiet discipline paid off, and that I can really proudly say that today.
That's a a truly inspiring mindset as well, and I think I share some of that too, because of my father's background again in defense again. Uh, there was something that he said to me. He said that when you really want something, you just have to give it your all, and there is no other shortcut to it. It just has to be done, and that's what I followed as well when I was a working professional. Now my working hours were 10 to 8, that left, very, little slivers of time around, the time before I could sleep and have food and other sustenance. It left, very, very limited time for me to invest into my future. But there was not none. When I say sliver, I was able to take out 6 hours per day. This was 7:30 to 9:30, 2 hours right before I started work. I was able to, wake up early and start, the day with a very focused mindset. And the day is the time when I'm the most productive. So it really helped me tackle my weaker sections. And getting back to work after I finished it, I had about 3 to 4 hour window after my dinner before I went to bed, where I could focus more on my, strengths. Now, if you've been through a day of work and study already, and you need to study more, it makes sense to go with the strength where you're already comfortable to work with. There is no shortcut about it. That's something I've already mentioned. You have to make the most of your time, whatever you have, and believe that the sacrifices of today will only bear fruits of success tomorrow. So, weekends, it's also another area where you're able to, put down that sacrifice and focus completely on your preparation. This was usually, 6 to 12 hours of, studies and sessions and mocks combined. And yeah, that is, how I juggle prep with work. And I think if I can do it, you can do it too.
So I think it's the right time to quickly jump to the section which is most exciting. So let's start with the Q&A session, and please post your questions in the chat session.
I see a question by Reel on I'm not that good at quants, what to do, how to score well in the section. Now, quantitative DI and data sufficiency is a trap if you are not sure what strategy to go ahead with. For me personally, it was one of my weaker sections, and this may sound funny because I'm an engineer, and usually that is our advantages section. But it does make sense to invest a lot of your time in quantitative, as once you have the rhythm down, a lot of these questions are easily scoreable. The point to focus on is, if you're not good at something, then that means you get pressurized as well when there is low time. So what you need to do is prioritize your strengths first. I would advise you to go with general English and analytical and logical reasoning sections first, and then when you have ample amount of time per question, then you should go into quantitative, and that will allow you to be a lot more comfortable with this section and help you focus as well. This is again similar to something that I had done. Specifically for me, that was analytical and logical reasoning, but the same can apply to your system as well.
Yeah, I can see a question from Aditya that can you share how to balance cat and snap together? So this time, as we have already mentioned, right after cat, you have hardly 5 to 6 days for snap. So one thing what I have mentioned already is start preparing for snap slowly, because most, I would say nearly 60 to 70% of your syllabus is already covered while you're preparing for cat. There will be some topics that are exclusive for snap, like your synonym. In general English, you have synonyms, antonyms, grammatical grammar corrections, and etc. While in quantitative aptitude, etc., you might have clocks and calendars, or in analytical reasoning also, you might have clocks and calendars, etc. So start your preparation slowly along with cat, so that you will have nearly 4 to 5 days purely dedicated for mocks, because for snap it is really important that you focus on the mocks, because it is a 1 hour examination. It tests your consistency and the time factor while under pressure. Also, you have 3 attempts for snap. So you make sure that you make use of all the 3 attempts, as I've mentioned, as everyone of us mentioned, that each attempt is an opportunity to increase your score, to maximize your score, to refine your strategy also. So attempt all the 3 snap exams, and then you can maximize the scores along with preparing simultaneously. And also, you, if at all you have some buffer time with you, take one mock test, right? I would say before even you start for snap, you can take at least one diagnostic test, so that you can understand where you are lagging behind, which topics you need to improvise, so that you can practice for the same.
Okay, so next question is by Alicia, that how to allocate the time for different sections in the SNAP exam. So Alicia, actually depends on person to person. In my case, I used to start with the general English section, where I used to allocate 10 to 12 minutes max for the 15 questions. And then I used to move to the quantitative and DI section, where which has 20 questions. So I tried to solve all the 20 questions in 20 minutes, so which sums up to 30 minutes. Now the final section, which I believe was the strongest one for me, uh, logical reasoning section. Here I tried to solve the 25 question as soon as I can, which usually took me around 20 minutes. And after that, the rest 10 minutes I used to allocate for the questions, which I skipped in midway, which I felt was on a slightly difficult side and needs more time for solving. So that's how I used to allocate my time. And it completely depends on the aspirant. Many do prefer solving the section which is the strongest one for them, so that they can build their confidence and then moving to the other sections.
I am going to gravitate towards one question, which specifically is asking about sharing a bit of your day in your life as a SIBM student. So, Akash, thank you for that question. It is absolutely splendid. Just going away from Snap for a short duration. SIBM is situated on Lavle, so that is a hilltop heaven, or that's how we like to call it, because every day when you wake up, there is going to be sunshine in your rooms, at the same time a chilly wind, so it makes for the perfect blend of weather conditions. And we have a lot of wildlife in our campus, so to speak. It's a very animal friendly campus. We have dogs and cats who are just as friendly as the people and seniors are here. And there's a very nice mix of competition and at the same time collaboration. A lot of the case competitions that we get to experience here on a daily basis are extremely competitive, and of course they are very, very distinguished as well. These are not just the kind of case competitions that you find unstopped and are open to the general public. These are very selective and exclusive ones as well. So I think roughly around top 12, top 11 colleges get to be in those. And of course SIBM Pune is one of them because of our NIRF ranking of 11. That is more or less how a day in our life looks like. There's also heavy and hectic academic rigor. That is also we have to something that we have to balance. But of course the campus life that I had mentioned, it helps us balance the pressure with this.
So I can say a question from Reel. How many mocks are required to crack Snap? So there is no as such number, a stipulated number wherein you like how many mocks should you attend. There is no quantitative number for the same. Do as many mocks you can, because every mock makes you better. You feel confident with each mock. So if I have to share my point of view, or I would say my what I did while I was preparing for my Snap examination, we had nearly 10 15 days for the exam. So every day I started off with one mock. Gradually I started off with two mocks a day, because I would say it's a 1 hour exam. You don't feel tired. So I would say you can take two mocks a day, and gradually you can increase it to even three also. But this time, as we have very lesser amount of time, I would urge to take at least two mocks a day for the first attempt at least. So you have three attempts on 6th, 14th, and 20th. So till 6th, or I would say till 4th of December, you can take two mocks starting from 1st of December. Then you can take only one mock on 5th, followed by for the second and third attempt you can take two mocks each day, and gradually if it's one day before the examination you can take only one mock, because you don't want to overburden with a lot of things, because you need to also have a proper mindset for the examination. So I would say ease your pace, do like increase your mocks every day gradually, but at the end I would say prior to a day or so, calm it down, or even if you don't do a mock, but just revise whatever concepts you have learned so that everything would be in the tip of your hands.
I see Ayush is asking a question on what scores did you all get in Snap. Ayush, it's very easy to keep on thinking about these questions. We all got enough scores that we're lucky to be here in SIBM Pune. You do have a follow-up question about which institute mock test would you rate as the best? To be honest, when it comes to the content and curriculum that coaching institutes provide, there is a similarity across all the level. If you look at the past year questions and you compare it to a content of any coaching institute, they are bound to be similar. So my suggestion to you is go with the one which you trust the most and you would feel the most comfortable with to follow through. And to focus a little bit more on solving the greater number of mocks rather than testing the quality. I think once you've given one mock, then also you're able to tell what kind of quality the mock has.
Okay, so next question is by Akash Bhatia, who is asking, uh, I'm a, I am in the last year of my graduation and don't have any work experience and preparing for SNAP. How realistic are my chances of converting SIBM as a fresher? So, Akash, I would say please don't worry about this because one of my very close friends is a fresher right after the college she joined SIBM. And believe me, they are competing as strong as the other work experienced people. We have a diverse group of candidates here who are just right off the after the college has joined SIBM, and the people who have more than 4 years, 3 years of so it is a very collaborative environment and we learn from each other. So the freshers one teaches the new tech skills and everything, while the experienced ones tells us how we can survive in a corporate environment and what are the things that we should keep in mind to keep things professionally and deal with things professionally. Also, if you are coming right out of the college and joining SIBM, you have an advantage in terms of time. You would have completed your MBA very soon, early in your life. So there is a long path to go. So being a fresher is not at all a thing to worry about. So please be very don't worry about it at all.
So I do see a question from Alicia on, is one good attempt enough, or should everyone write all three attempts? Now, ideally, if you get one good attempt through, you can bet your chances on that. But the advantage that Snap offers is that, it saves you a lot of time. Let's say to give, three attempts at any other exam, you would have to, spend 3 years of your life. And now what happens is with Snap, you get to do that thrice in 1 year. So if you're getting, multiple tries at exam, why not give it? It is a very, gamified logic that, my mind applies to it, wherein, if I can retry a level, why wouldn't I go for, to get the best time or the highest score possible? So this, in fact, is actually very true in my case as well. As I mentioned previously, is my first attempt was a bit of a difficult situation for me to manage. It wasn't that great. The second one was a lot better. I was understanding what Snap required. It required me to be not just fast but accurate as well. So bridging the line between precision and speed is what really helped me there. And finally, by the third attempt, I had mastered my understanding of Snap and was finally able to get a respectable score. So I can tell you this much, that I had got my highest score in the third attempt. And this is different for everyone. I know a lot of people who are there at SIBM Pune who have gotten their highest scores in the second slot. There were a lot of people who had gotten theirs in first as well. But that's the thing, you don't know what your score is until after the results are out. If you know when you're already giving the exam, then it makes a lot more sense to justify only giving one or two attempts. But that is the beauty of Snap. It gives you three tries. And folks, I think that is the best way to optimize your chances into getting in the top 11 B schools in India.
Yeah, so I can see a question from Akash on how he prepared for general English verbal section. He's not able to get the vocabulary questions correct. So Akash, if I have to be very honest, general English was also one of the sections where I also faced some difficulty. But I would say that for SNAP, you need to be very thorough with grammar, synonyms, antonyms, vocabulary, etc. So one thing which I did was I used to put give 50 words in Google. I used to type give 50 words and their meanings. And after once you get the 50 words, you go through these 50 words, take the meanings, and just put the opposite. Like you for the same words, you also go for the opposite or the antonym. So this is one thing. This was one of the ways through which I learned the meanings for the same. Secondly, you have a lot of resources in Google, or I would say if I have to take my personal story or what I did personally was I used to go in Google, used to type grammatical corrections or uh, spotting the errors, everything. So you have a lot of resources on Google and other platforms also. Also, I would sound very much kiddish, but if you have a lot of grammar books which you had kept till your sixth standard or seventh standard, if you have grammar books also, I used to go through that also, because there were some of the patterns which you can was able to learn. So this is something which I learned. And I would say that if you are very much facing a difficulty, I would urge you to start your preparation right now with respect to general English, so that because this is a section where you have only 15 questions, you can just solve within 10 minutes. So because your rest of the 15 minutes need to be entirely dedicated for the two sections, also need to have some buffer for the same also.
Okay, so I'm taking the next question, which is by Aditya. He's saying, whenever I sit for mock, I panic and that affects my scores. How can I fix that? Okay, so Aditya, if you are panicking during mocks, the first thing to understand is that panic usually comes from the uncertainty, not the questions themselves. So before you start any mock, take 30 seconds to breathe, calm yourself, and remind yourself that it's just practice. So go in with a fixed mindset. Start with your strongest section. Pick only the easiest questions first, and build that early momentum. The moment you feel overwhelmed during the mock, pause for 5 seconds, reset your breathing, and start again from the next easiest question. So, also don't judge yourself based on one mock. The goal is progress, not perfection. So, over time, as you take more and more mocks with a stable approach, your anxiety will naturally reduce and you will start feeling more confident, and your scores will also gradually improve with time.
I'll take up the question by Karan Singh. Karan Singh is saying, "Hello, sir. Karan, please don't refer to us as sir. We're just, a year ahead right now. Is it okay if I skip some parts of the syllabus in quant, or should we study everything? Is there no strategic shortcut?" I can give you the short answer right away. No, there is no strategic shortcut. You should not leave out any syllabus if you can't. But of course, given the time constraint, there is a lot of pressure on getting to mocks right now and practicing as many as you can. That's also a part of the journey that a lot of people are very very focused on. I have to hit 30 mocks, I have to hit 40 mocks, and that is not the case. Similarly, you don't need to complete all of the syllabus. However, the amount of syllabus that you've been able to cover, please make sure that you are very very well versed with it. If there is any sort of let's say a googly or a bouncer question that comes along, it needs to be dealt with in the easiest and simplest way possible. So if you are covered with let's say 40 or 50% of the syllabus, make sure that it is 100% done. By this I mean that the difficulty and complexity of questions within that topic are very very well covered by you. For overcoming this, let's say if you have some part of syllabus left out in quants, I would advise you to keep on focusing on mocks, because what I did personally was, in my analysis, I used to keep on coming to the questions I did not get right or wasn't able to answer. And with this mock plus analysis time duration, I was also able to make this into a learning opportunity, wherein there were questions from certain areas that I had not covered very well, and I was able to give myself that time within mock analysis to try and test up to what level can I answer these questions very well.
So I can see two same questions on the similar lines, Reel and Shakti Kumar, whether because they are a working professional and have very less time to study, so how to juggle between the snap prep and their work. So I would say if you consider I would say my point of view also, I was also a working professional who was having a tight 12-hour schedule. So my work started from 9 and used to end at 9. I also had hardly 3 hours to study. So the thing you can do is, if you can wake up early, get up early, start with the syllabus. Like, because mornings were the best time where I was able to increase my efficiency and productivity. Sit with the syllabus for at least an hour and then solve a mock. Once you come back from work, you can at least go and analyze the mocks, because analyzing the mock takes, I think, 2 to 3 hours. Or if you're able to, I would say, if you're also able to do at least two mocks after coming back from work, also well and good. I would say if you are kind of a person who have a weekend, if you have Saturday, Sunday off, optimize that time properly. Take nearly 8 to 9 hours from your schedule for entirely dedicating to the SNAP preparation. Solve as many mocks as you can, go through the syllabus, revise the topics that you have so that at the end you are able to maximize your score, you are able to refine your strategy. So one thing for the working professionals who are working from the tight schedule for the weekdays, take nearly 3 to 4 hours from your schedule, solve at least a mock, at least one mock, and then go for your syllabus. On the weekdays, dedicate entirely for the preparation, because I would say weekends are the biggest assets for any working professional. Go for it, go solve as many mocks as you can.
Just adding on to that a little bit more is, I've also had to face the similar, work week, and it had gotten, a lot difficult for me to focus on my preparation, because burnout is something that became sort of a, regular occurrence. It wasn't something that, just happened once in my preparation. It kept on happening, during small durations, at a lot of, high frequency. And this used to happen, let's say, on a daily level, where I thought that, I wasn't giving enough time to the preparation. My father, rightly said that if you really want something, you need to, put your mind and heart into it. And that is what I did. You have to give sacrifices. You have to believe that the year ahead, when you start your MBA journey, will be a lot better than your preparation journey. And that goal and that mindset is something that you should keep on working towards. Whatever you're doing today, whatever you're sacrificing today, will result in better success for you in the future later on. And just a short story which I would like to share. And just a quick note again, at Coffee with SIPM, there's going to be tons of these stories which are going to be especially very helpful for different kinds of people, because right now we're just three people in front of you. And when it comes to Coffee with SIPM, we will be a lot more, and a lot of more experiences to keep on sharing with you. One such experience I'll just quickly share here is how, with my work experience, I had to, I could start work a little bit later. It was at 10. Now I saved up some time by waking up early. I did 2 hours of study in the morning. Again, I tackled my weaker sections because I was more fresh. And then when it came to the night time, I was able to take out 3 to 4 hours and try to focus on my strengths, and also, do a little bit of easier questions then. As Devika also mentioned, weekends are your best friend if you are a working professional. That is not the time to slack off and relax. That is the time to push forward and beat those who are already maximizing their time ahead of you. It is an iterative process, meaning that once you do 2 hours, they will start seeming a little bit easier to you. You'll start slowly coming to 3 hours, then you'll build upon to 4 hours, and then so on and so forth. So 6 hours, that time that I was able to take out every day, it wasn't something that I just woke up and did in a snap. It was something I kept on building onto. It was something that I had to keep working towards. And of course, that is just a small part of my story of how I was able to develop myself better, grow myself, and finally became a person that was worthy enough of SIBM Pune. And now we can honestly tell you that there's tons of more stories like this, a lot of more insightful tips and tricks that we will share with you, along with a mini quiz as well that we are planning at Coffee with SIBM. We've already shared with you the registration form. If you would be kindly clicking on it, you'll see the list of cities that we're going to visit, and with the time slot and the location as well. I think Karan, that answers your question as well. With respect to more about Coffee with SIBM, please feel free to follow our socials. Ishita, can you please switch the slide to our socials so that the aspirants can follow us? That is where we will be updating with a lot more information about not just Coffee with SIBM, but also SIBM Pune and Snap related queries. Feel free to follow us on these socials, and keep nudging on with your preparation, aspirants.
Thank you, everyone. It was an engaging session for us. Thank you so much for your questions. We were so happy to answer the questions. So please do, as everyone, we are also excited to meet you for Coffee with SIBM in different cities. Please fill out the registration forms. Please follow our socials to keep you updated with the Coffee with SIBM updates. You'll be able to meet us, share a cup of coffee, have some insights on Snap preparations and strategies. So please gear up for the same, and we are so excited to meet you.
All right, so we had a great session. We love answering your queries, and we would love to do more of it at Coffee with SIBM. I request every one of you to register and come and meet us in your own city. We are covering 12 different cities this time with all our friends who will be helping you to strategize your snap attempt. And let's meet there. And yeah, we will be there to answer all your queries in the social media handles. And thank you for the session. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.